What if I told you that one of the wisest men in history might have been cheated on, and instead of breaking down, losing control, or seeking revenge, he stayed calm, silent, powerful, not because he didn't feel the pain, but because he knew something most people today don't. He knew you can't control what others do, but you can always control how you respond. This is the story of how a Stoic, an ancient philosopher, handled betrayal, and how his mindset could completely change the way you deal with heartbreak. Before we dive in, if you're someone who loves deep life lessons, timeless wisdom, and how to use ancient thinking to fix modern problems, hit that subscribe button right now. This channel is all about giving you the tools to stay calm, strong, and unshakable, no matter what life throws at you. What Stoicism teaches about pain and betrayal. So, what exactly does Stoicism teach about pain, especially emotional pain like betrayal? What is Stoicism? Stoicism is an ancient philosophy founded in Greece and later adopted by the Romans. It teaches one main thing: you can't control what happens. You can only control how you respond. That's it. The core idea is emotional discipline. You don't fight pain. You don't suppress it. You observe it. You accept it. And then, you choose your response with calm and clarity. For a Stoic, virtue, living with reason, justice, courage, and self-control, is more important than any emotion, desire, or outcome. Now apply that to betrayal. Why betrayal hurts so much. When someone cheats on you, it breaks your trust. It feels like rejection, disrespect, and emotional violence all at once. Your first instinct is usually one of three things: get revenge, try to win them back, or completely break down. But a Stoic wouldn't do any of those things, not because they're cold, but because they've trained their minds to see reality as it is, not as they wish it was. To a Stoic, cheating is an external event, something outside your control. What the other person did reflects their values, their weakness, not yours. So, the question becomes, will I let someone else's weakness control my inner peace? The Stoic answer is always no. Two key Stoic lessons on betrayal. It is not the event that disturbs you, but your judgment of it. Epictetus: when someone cheats on you, your mind attaches meaning to it. I'm not good enough. They never loved me. I'll never trust again. But the event itself, it's neutral. It just happened. The pain multiplies when we interpret it in a harmful way. So Stoicism teaches, separate the event from the story you tell yourself about it. You got betrayed. That's real. But the idea that you're worthless, that's a thought, and you can choose to change it. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Marcus Aurelius: when you're hurt, you might want to lash out, expose them, insult them, make them feel the pain you're feeling. But for a Stoic, your values don't disappear just because someone else lost theirs. You don't let their behavior change your principles. That's the real power. The Stoic path is to stay in control, not for them but for you, because your peace is more valuable than any temporary emotional outburst. What does this look like in real life? Let's say your partner cheats, you find out. Your heart drops. You feel rage, sadness, confusion, all of it. A Stoic would still feel those emotions, but instead of reacting, they'd pause. They'd remind themselves, this pain is temporary. Their actions don't define me. I still choose how I respond. That pause, that space between pain and reaction, is where true strength lives. Why this matters more than ever. Today, in today's world, Betrayal is more common than ever. Ghosting, cheating, emotional manipulation. It's everywhere. We're told to move on or get even. But Stoicism offers a third option. Rise above it. Not by pretending it didn't hurt, but by refusing to give that pain more power than it deserves. A Stoic doesn't deny heartbreak. They use it to build wisdom, emotional strength, and inner peace. What cheating meant in ancient times. Before we dive into how an ancient Stoic responded to betrayal, we need to understand something. What did cheating even mean back then? Because in ancient Rome and Greece, relationships were very different from what we think of today. Marriage wasn't about love. In Stoic times, especially in Rome, marriage wasn't usually based on love. It was about alliances, family power, and property. Marriages were arranged. Husbands and wives had roles, not necessarily emotional bonds. So when someone was cheated on, it wasn't just emotional. It could also be about honor, control, or social shame. Men, cheating was often ignored. Here's the surprising part. In many cases, men could cheat, and society would look the other way. They had mistresses, concubines, and even slaves they were intimate with. But if a woman cheated, it was seen as a serious crime, sometimes even punishable by death or exile. Cheating wasn't always about love or trust. It was about reputation and power. So, did Stoics get cheated on? We don't have dramatic love triangle stories like modern gossip magazines, but Stoics were still human. They had wives, husbands, friends, and partners. And yes, betrayal happened. The key difference? They didn't handle it the way we do today. They didn't vent on social media. They didn't chase closure. They didn't crumble or beg. They turned inward. They asked, what is mine to control here? How can I respond with virtue, not emotion? Honor. Emotion, in the ancient world, especially among philosophers, the idea of honor mattered more than love. If someone betrayed you, it wasn't just personal. It was a test of your self-mastery. And, for a Stoic, how you handle pain was the ultimate proof of strength. So even in betrayal, the question was never, why did they do this to me? It was, what will I choose to do now? It was a different time. But the pain was still real, yes. Their world was different. But heartbreak, betrayal, and emotional suffering, that's universal. When you read the writings of Marcus Aurelius or Epictetus, you feel the emotional wisdom. You know they were no strangers to loss, disrespect, or disappointment. They just had a system, a philosophy to guide them through it. And that's what we're about to explore next. How a Stoic would react to being cheated on. So let's imagine it. You're in a committed relationship. You find out your partner cheated. Your heart races. Your chest tightens. Your mind spirals. But you're a Stoic. What now? Step 1. Acknowledge the emotion, but don't let it control you. The Stoic doesn't pretend not to feel pain. They feel it fully, but they don't act on impulse. A Stoic might think, I feel hurt, but I am not this hurt. I am more than this moment. They observe the emotion without letting it drive their next move. That's emotional clarity, something Stoicism trains you to master. Step 2. Separate the event from the interpretation. Your partner cheated. That's a fact. But what you tell yourself about it, that's where suffering begins. Do you say, I'm worthless? They never loved me? I'll never be happy again? Or do you say, they made a choice. I now get to make mine. This hurts, but I will grow from it. Their actions reveal them, not me. The Stoic doesn't lie to themselves, but they also don't feed the pain with drama. Step 3. Ask the core Stoic question, what's in my control? This is the foundation of Stoic thinking. Some things are up to us and some are not. Epictetus, your partner's loyalty, not in your control. Your reaction, 100% yours. You can't change the past. You can't undo the betrayal, but you can choose how you carry yourself moving forward. That's your power. Step 4. Practice amor fati, the love of fate. This is one of the most powerful Stoic ideas, amor fati. Love your fate. It means you don't just accept what happened, you embrace it. You say, this is part of my story now, and I will use it. Even betrayal becomes fuel. Fuel for self-respect, growth, inner strength. Because if you only accept the good parts of life, you're not free. Freedom comes from accepting everything, even the pain. Step 5. Maintain virtue. Stay true to yourself. Let's be real. When you're betrayed, it's tempting to lash out, talk bad about them, destroy their reputation, make them feel it. But that's not the Stoic way. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." In other words, don't become what hurt you. If they were dishonest, you be honest. If they disrespected, you carry yourself with dignity. Virtue means doing the right thing, especially when it's hard. Step 6. Don't seek closure from the other person. Find it. Within Stoics never beg for explanations. They don't chase people who chose to leave. They look inward and ask, what can I learn from this? How can I grow stronger, wiser, freer? Because chasing answers from someone who lied is like trying to find peace in a storm. The Stoic realizes closure isn't given. It's chosen. You create peace not when they say sorry, but when you say, enough. I release this. Step 7. Focus on the bigger picture. Life is short, and Stoics were deeply aware of that. Marcus Aurelius wrote often about death, not to be morbid, but to remind himself, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. So when betrayal hits, the Stoic zooms out. They see the pain, yes, but they also see time passing, opportunities ahead, a life still full of potential. They don't let one moment ruin the rest of their story. In simple terms, how does a Stoic react to being cheated on? They feel the pain, but don't become the pain. They accept the truth, but don't collapse under it. They stay calm, not because it doesn't hurt, but because their peace matters more than revenge. They walk away not with bitterness but with power. A real or hypothetical example, how Marcus Aurelius or Epictetus might have handled it. Now let's bring Stoicism to life. Imagine this. You're Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in Rome, emperor, philosopher, warrior, but even you are not immune to betrayal. The real story. Marcus Aurelius and Faustina. History tells us Marcus Aurelius was married to Faustina, a Roman empress. And while we'll never know the full truth, there were rumors, even in ancient texts, that Faustina may have been unfaithful. Some claimed she had affairs with gladiators. Some even whispered that their son, Commodus, wasn't truly Marcus's. But did Marcus publicly shame her? Did he exile her? Did he collapse? No. He stayed silent. He stayed composed. He kept showing up as a Stoic. Why would he stay calm? Because Marcus knew something we often forget. You always own the option of having no opinion. Marcus Aurelius, he didn't react to gossip. He didn't let rumors rule his peace. He didn't allow betrayal, real or imagined, to poison his soul. Instead, he wrote in his journal, which later became the Meditations, if someone does wrong, the harm is to themselves. That's pure Stoicism. Let's flip to Epictetus. Epictetus was a former slave who became one of the greatest Stoic teachers. He didn't have a wife, but he taught his students how to handle loss, betrayal, and disrespect. His advice: if someone wrongs you, it's their problem, not yours. You only need to protect your character. So imagine Epictetus being cheated on. He wouldn't beg. He wouldn't break down. He would pause, breathe, and say, "She acted as she saw fit. Now I must act according to virtue." Then he'd walk away, calm, proud, unshaken. What would they say to you? If Marcus Aurelius were alive today, and you told him you were cheated on, he wouldn't say, "That's awful," or "Get revenge." He'd probably ask, "Did this person take away your character, your values, your inner peace?" If you said yes, he'd remind you, "Then you've handed over more than you should." A Stoic in modern times would say, She lied. That's on her. I stayed honest. That's on me. She left. I stay grounded. She lost something real. I lost someone fake. That's not weakness, that's wisdom." So what's the lesson here? Even emperors get betrayed, even Stoics get hurt, but the ones who win in the end are not the ones who scream the loudest. It's the ones who walk away without losing themselves. Pain hurts. Betrayal stings. But Stoicism isn't just theory. It's a toolbox. Here are real, simple tools you can start using today if someone cheats on you. Tool 1. The dichotomy of control. Write this down. Print it. Live it. Some things are up to us and some are not. Epictetus: you can't control what someone else does if they cheat. If they lie, you can control how you respond, whether you hold on to the pain, whether you let this moment define you. Action. Every time your mind spirals, ask, "Is this in my control?" If it's not, let it go. Tool 2. Negative visualization. Sounds weird, right? But it works. Stoics practiced imagining the worst. On purpose. Why? So they'd never be shocked when it came. Prepare your mind for all things. Seneca: think about this. What if the relationship ended? What if this betrayal was the truth you needed? This doesn't make you negative. It makes you unbreakable. Action. Each morning, spend 2 minutes imagining one thing going wrong, then remind yourself you can handle it. Tool 3. Journaling. Like a Stoic, Marcus Aurelius wrote meditations as a private journal. He never meant for anyone to read it. It was his way of staying sane. You can do the same. Action. Each night, ask yourself, what happened today? What did I feel? What did I control well? What can I do better tomorrow? It clears the noise in your head. It sharpens your character. It puts your soul back in your hands. Tool 4. Voluntary discomfort. It's easy to collapse when pain hits. If you've never trained for it, Stoics trained by choosing small discomforts. Sleeping without a blanket, skipping a meal, walking barefoot for a bit. Why? So when life hit hard, they didn't fall apart. Practice poverty, so that you fear it less. Seneca: action. Once a week, do something a little uncomfortable, on purpose. Build mental muscle. Tool 5. Memento mori. Remember you'll die. This is not dark. This is freedom. You won't live forever. Neither will they. This pain? Temporary. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Marcus Aurelius: action. Put memento mori. Somewhere you'll see it daily. When betrayal hits, remember, this is just one scene in your story, not the whole script. Tool 6. Practice stillness. You don't need to fix everything right away. Sometimes the most stoic thing you can do is pause, feel, sit, breathe. Let the storm pass without reacting. Stillness doesn't mean doing nothing. It means choosing your response instead of being dragged by emotion. Action. When emotions flare, wait 24 hours before texting, posting, or making decisions. Tool 7. Circle of virtue. Ask yourself daily. Am I living with courage? Am I being just? Am I practicing wisdom? Am I showing self-control? That's it. That's the Stoic compass. Cheated on, betrayed, stick to the virtues. Because, in the end, all the chaos passes, and what's left is your character. How this translates into modern relationships. So how does all this Stoic wisdom actually help when you're in love, dating, or just got out of a relationship? 1. You stop taking everything personally. If your partner cheats or lies, it's easy to think, I'm not enough. I did something wrong. I should have seen it coming. But a Stoic sees it differently. They ask, did I stay honest? Was I kind? Did I act with integrity? If yes, then the rest is not about you. 2. You become emotionally independent. You love someone deeply, but you don't lose yourself in them. That's Stoicism. You're not cold. You're not detached. You just know that. You don't own people. You only share time with them. So if that time ends, you let it go with grace, not with begging, chasing, or self-destruction. 3. You choose partners based on values, not just vibes. Stoic doesn't just go for looks, charm, or chemistry. They look for honesty, discipline, emotional control, integrity. Why? Because they're not building a fling, they're building a life. And if someone lacks those inner values, it doesn't matter how attractive they are. They're not a fit. 4. You practice detachment, not indifference. Detachment isn't about not caring. It's about caring without clinging. You give your best in the relationship. You show love. You build trust. But if the other person cheats, leaves, lies, you don't collapse. Because you know you were whole before them, and you'll be whole after them. 5. You see breakups as training, not tragedy. Breakups are not failures. They're tests. Each one makes you stronger, wiser, sharper. A Stoic sees heartbreak like a warrior sees battle scars, proof that they showed up, fought with honor, and came out more resilient. 6. You learn to love without losing yourself. This is key, Stoics. Love fully, but not blindly. They don't lose sleep over what they can't control. They don't build their identity around another person. They don't chase those who walked away. They love with strength, and they leave with dignity. So what's the modern Stoic relationship mindset? Let's wrap this up in one sentence. I will give, love freely, act with virtue, and walk away peacefully if that love is not returned. That's not weakness. That's power. The power of walking away with peace. Let's be honest. Getting cheated on hurts. It shatters your trust. It breaks your heart, and it makes you question everything. But here's the truth the Stoics knew. No one can hurt you unless you allow it. You still have power. You still have your dignity. You still have your values. You don't need closure from them. You need closure from yourself. Not, why did they do this? But, why did I tolerate less than I deserve? What can I learn from this? How can I become stronger from this? You don't beg for apologies. You create peace. Inside a Stoic doesn't wait for someone else to say sorry. They take a deep breath and say, I forgive you. Not for you, but so I can move forward. That's emotional freedom. You don't let pain turn you bitter. It's easy to say, I'll never trust again. All people are liars. But that's not the Stoic way. They say, some will betray, but not all. Some will leave, but not all. I will stay true to who I am, no matter what they do. You walk away with your head high, not with drama, not with revenge, not with tears on social media. Just a calm step forward. No more begging, no more hoping, no more holding on to someone who let go of you. Because the most stoic thing you can ever do is this: let them lose you. You win when you keep your soul intact. They cheated, let them go. You stayed honest, you stayed loyal, you won. Because when the pain fades and the noise dies down, the only thing that matters is this: did I stay true to who I am? And if you did, you didn't just survive heartbreak, you rose above it like a true Stoic.